with truth and facts and his perspective on different things in life. Today, I want to give a shout out to Ticket TV, my friend, because yesterday was the first time I learned that Diddy is being investigated right here in Los Angeles by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. I'll get into that there more. Now, before all you Diddy haters start jumping for joy, sit back and listen to me, because you're going to want to see and want to hear what I'm saying. And you know, folks, one thing about me, when I come live to you, I show you my face. I'm very transparent. Hello, Agent and Sonia. Thank you very much. I love you guys. Always the first ones here. And I'm going to talk about the Epstein files just a little bit. But let's begin with Diddy. Okay? Authorities have not named the accuser, but Florida-based music producer, I think he was a PR guy, not a producer, okay? Jonathan Hay identified himself as the complainant in a social media post that have since been removed. I don't know why they were removed. ABC News reported the LA County Sheriff's Department said on Friday it has received a police report from a Florida department and the Sheriff Victims Unit will investigate the claims. The allegations under investigation mirror those made in a John Doe lawsuit filed against Combs in July. Now that lawsuit, I just heard this morning, was filed, that's a civil lawsuit, was filed here in Beverly Hills, which is only about a half a mile from where I live. So I'm going to be going there in a few days and try to see what information I could find out from his filings over there in the Beverly Hills court on the civil complaint, because that might tell us a little bit more of what we are hearing over here. Okay? I'm pushing for criminal charges to be filed against Combs at state and federal level. Well, I don't know what he's going to do on the federal level, okay? That Hay is the guy's last name. All right? He told Shakya earlier this month in an interview where he stated he was the civil suit plaintiff. The lawsuit states that in December 2020, the date's very important, folks, because they're just coming in under the 5-year statute of limitation. So, if the investigation turns out and is everything that he's allegedly saying becomes the truth, then it will be sent to the district attorney for prosecution. Okay? The producer was a warehouse in Los Angeles that housed some of Notorious Big's clothing. The items were being donated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame later that year when Biggie eventually became inducted. Florida-based music producer John Hoy revealed in media interviews that he was the John Doe plaintiff from a civil lawsuit that he filed. The producer, who was not named by law enforcement investigation, the allegations allege he was subjected to sex acts in 2020 and 2021. That's twice. While working on a remix project of music for Biggie Smalls, a.k.a. Christopher Wallace, which put him into contact with Bad Boy Records and company executive Combs. A spokesman for Combs did not immediately respond to the Times' request for comment on the investigation. Wallace, the son of Biggie Smalls and singer Faith Evans, sued Hay for defamation in a Florida federal court last week, calling Hay's recent interview a calculated smear campaign that included false statements that he attended Combs' so-called freak-out parties and conspired to lure Hay to a location where Combs purportedly assaulted him. All right, folks, put yourself in the position. Put yourself in the shoes of the sheriff detectives that are going to investigate this here. They're going to have to talk to Biggie Smalls' son. He's already filed a lawsuit. Now that's going to be, I think this guy Hay, whatever his name is going to be his biggest thing, okay? That's going to be the biggest thing I think that's going to put this case together if the case does get together. Now, is Hay telling the truth or is Biggie Smalls' son telling the truth in his lawsuit? I don't know that. Neither do you. And neither do the sheriff's department yet at this time. But I took, and as I told you, I first heard about this on Ticket TV yesterday. And, after I heard it, I wanted to do my own investigation, which I did. I also consulted with two of the finest criminal defense attorneys here in Los Angeles, and they all feel the same way that I do, that this is a weak case, all right? From what we hear. I don't know if this guy Hay has any text messages. I don't know if he's got any photos. I don't know if he's got anything to support what he's saying. I'm going to imagine maybe he does. And if he does, then that's going to be a big problem for Diddy, because Diddy then can be indicted right here in Los Angeles County. And I got to tell you, our new district attorney here is nobody to fool around with. So we're going to have to sit back and wait this one out, folks. But that's the latest on Puffy. And that's why I told all you Diddy haters, don't jump for joy yet, okay? Because we absolutely know nothing of what's true, what's hearsay, or anything else. Folks, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please, let me ask you, what are you waiting for? All right? That's all you thank you. Make the mafia great again. Folks, have you noticed a lot of changes on YouTube? I'm noticing as I go through the channels, it doesn't tell me how many subscribers a certain channel has. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. There's been a lot of change. I noticed that the advertisements, all right, are much longer than they were in the past. Okay, and I could understand them doing that there. That there, helps with the revenue for YouTube. My revenue, I make $2 a day coming here. $2 a day. That's $60 a month, folks. But I keep doing it. I come here for you because you're the folks. You love what I say. You tell me that in the comments. And I want to talk about the comments for a moment before I get a little bit into the Epstein thing there, okay? I read my comments, as most of you all know. And by the way, one of the other things I saw change, all right, because people keep asking me, they can't find the thanks button. So if anybody wants to give me thanks, YouTube has made that easier to find. All you gotta do is scroll over where you see subscribe, scroll over, or if you go to put a comment in, you got the $sign down on the bottom. So they made it easy. So if anybody wants to give me a thanks, it's deeply appreciated. Trust me, it helps me with all my printing because I'm an old-fashioned guy. And by the way, I am not a baby boomer. I just found out today. I'm going to explain that to you too. I always thought I was a baby boomer. I love Joy. How are you? Okay. There's somebody goes by the name of Ellen. I don't know if it's her real name or not, but she's been dogging me on everything I talk about. Everything I say on YouTube. Now, either she has an intense hate for me. Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate that. She has an intense hate for me. Or Sonny Franchise. Here's one thing she wrote, folks. So Sonny was a murderer. You were besties. How many murders did you help him with? Birds of a feather flock together. You ought to see what I wrote back to her, folks. It's all in my comments. You can read it. You know, I don't know who she is. You know, I have muted her, but she keeps changing her name. Now I got a feeling who this might be. It might be somebody not even from this country. It might be somebody that we all know here who's from another country. But I can't make that accusation yet. Sonia, I want to thank you. You know, Sonia, hit that thanks button. She knows how to do it, folks. Okay? Can we get some more thanks here? Okay? I hate asking you, but you know what? I'm going to. All right? I don't care. You know, folks, I thought I was a baby boomer. Where's my paperwork on baby boomer? But I'm not a baby boomer. I'm part of the silent. Yeah. Baby boomers were born in 1946 to 1964. All right? People born in 1944 are part of the silent generation and are currently 81 years old. That's me. This generation is defined as being born between approximately 1928 and 1945. They lived through significant historical events like the end of World War II. The term baby boomer refers to the generation that followed us. So that's something that I just found out today. Okay? Sonia, you sent another? Thank you, Sonia. Sonia, hit that button again. God bless you, kid. Yep. Hit it again. I love you, Sonia. So, folks, I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was a little bit funny. So, I am a member of the silent. This is why people like me, we have more wisdom. We've been around longer. We normally don't talk a lot. I'm a good talker. Not bad anyways. What do you think, all right? Let me know what you think in the comments, okay? And once again, if you haven't subscribed, please do, because, folks, do you know who Frank Grillo is? You watch Tulsa King? Superman? Over 100 movies he's been in. He's a great actor. He's in Tulsa King. Watch Tulsa King. He's a friend of mine. I'm going to be interviewing him. All right? I have Elizabeth Hudson coming up December 4th. All this will take place in my studio in Brentwood. I have George Gale, Nick Villanoga, and I'm going to have countless of other actors and actresses. You're not going to want to miss this, folks, because I will be bringing these interviews as I do them. They will be live right here on YouTube. Okay? Folks, do subscribe, like, share. By the way, I don't even know how you share on YouTube. I can't find that no more. Okay? I think the only way you could do that is there's a button with an arrow. You hit that, you copy the link, and then you can send it to somebody. I guess that's the only way. But you can't. Are you able to share it on YouTube? I don't know. So please leave that there for me. Okay, everything's the Epstein. Are we all tired? We're all tired of hearing about Epstein and Diddy. You know, somebody wrote me, an Italian friend wrote me, why am I talking about Diddy, a black man, for? I should be talking about Italians. Well, I done that. I did it, Italians, my Italian friends. And you know what? Nobody watches it. So you don't like it? You don't support me, my Italian friends? That's what disgusts me, folks. You think I'm there for everybody. And I try to support everybody. But somebody wrote me that today, and I had to get back at that there. Okay, because I don't know. I said, explain that to me. I don't even know what they mean. Okay? Every little points you click, and a tab opens up. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Gabi. Gabi, did I say it right, or is it Gabby? Okay. The Epstein file. Okay. You all remember Donald Trump when he ran for office. I'm going to release the Epstein file. And then he got elected. And then he got Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Bongiorno. Yes, we're going to do it. They're all on my desk. We never saw nothing. Then it ends up in the House, U.S. House of Representatives. Finally, they brought it to a vote, and it passed in Congress this morning. Now it's going to go to the Senate, where it will pass again. Okay? Well, what do you think we're going to find out from it? My prediction, nothing. Okay? It's all been a dog and pony show. Remember, this is November. Trump has been president since January. So he's been in office 11 months already. Summer says she sent $100. Where did you send it to, Summer? Summer, please tell me where you sent the 100, because I don't see it. Okay? You know, I do have a PayPal. If anybody wants to send them my PayPal, that's the accidental gangster at Gmail. It's right there in my profile. Easy to find. Okay? So, you're right, Tupac Shakur is here. They scrubbed the shit out of these documents. That's what I think too. That's what other people think. They've been scrubbed, redone, rehashed, every which way but loose. Everybody wants to find out who these other people were. All right, they want to know the names of these people. The other people that were there with these young girls with Jeffrey Epstein. These are rich and powerful people. These people are much more wealthier than Diddy ever thought about being. Okay? Much more. And let's just take a look at what Diddy's been able to accomplish with his money through his legal problems. So imagine what these wealthiest people in the world can do. That's why their names are never going to be mentioned. So our U.S. House of Congress, our president, nobody cares about the victims. You're right, Stephen, I'm very upfront. The victims are the ones that everybody should be concerned about. But you don't see any elected member. Oh, I take it back now. Marjorie Taylor Greene came through. God bless her. She was somebody I used to think she was a whack job. Now, the more I listen to her, I like her. Okay? She's for the victims. That's why she wants this list out. But she doesn't even know who's on that list. And I guarantee you, we're not going to know either. Okay? Just like we're not going to know who was at Diddy's party. Because the same U.S. attorney who went after Epstein, went after Diddy, Maureen Holman, she's the one who got all that information. She knows the names. And if you knew the names, you'd be a very wealthy person, or you would end up unalive. Simple. I'm telling you facts of life, folks. Refried, good to see you, buddy. So, folks, will we ever get the truth from our United States government? I doubt it. I'm going to be 81 years old on December 17th. You haven't seen me talking very much lately. The last couple weeks, I wasn't feeling well. I've been dizzy, okay? I didn't care about life anymore. I did have a bad infection. I was on antibiotic. But, I mean, with everything going on in the world, I never, in my 81 years, seen anything so bad as I'm seeing today. You know, they're talking about insurance. How much insurance is going to go up? They're correct. Folks, I'm on Medicare. I pay over $300 a month extra for Medicare supplement so that I can see any doctor I want to see. I can go to any hospital I want to see. I'm covered. But $300 a month. I get $1,000 a month from Social Security. $1,000. They increased that by 2.8%. 2.8. But yet, they increased that, but they increased my Medicare premium. And then I got my Medicare supplements on top of that. So I called. You see all the advertising going to people on Medicare. You know, get your church, get a thing, okay? Get it cheaper. So I called. Was on the phone for an hour. Went through all my medication, went through everything. Okay. Oh, we got a great plan for you, sir. You won't have to pay the $300. Okay. I got a plan for you for $55 a month. I said, holy shit, I'm saying to myself. From $300 to $55, I said, well, tell me about this plan. So, she says, we have a list. You go to our doctors. I said, no, I want to be able to see my doctors I got my doctors on speed dial. I got my doctor's cell phone numbers. That's how close I am with them. Okay? At Cedar Sinai. I want those doctors. I like Cedar Sinai. It's one of the best hospitals in the country. Well, sir, every time you see, okay, well, she said, well, I got another plan. You'll be able to see one of your doctors. You can't see the other because he's not part of our plan. Okay? And every time you see him, you got a copay of $35. If you go to the emergency room, you got a copay of $150. And if you go to the hospital, you have a copay every day of $300 a day. I says, wait, no, I says, you know what? I happen to know about the insurance business because I was in it years ago. I sold life insurance primarily. I did sell health insurance. And I can remember selling a woman's exclusive health insurance policy back in 1967. It was $12.40 a month. I still remember. Okay? With great coverage. I bet none of you girls could find anything for $12.40 a month, huh? Anyway, so I said, you know what? I tell this girl, I said, you work for Medicare. I said, but what you're telling me, the difference between an HMO and a PPO, I got a PPO, which covers me on everything. All right? But an HMO, you got to see their doctors. The doctors who are in their program. They could be 20 miles, 30 miles away from you. It doesn't make a difference. And they can't see you right away, these doctors, because they're too busy. I said, basically, an HMO is nothing more than socialized medicine. I got friends in England. I got friends in Canada. Sonia, maybe you could tell me and help me here. Okay? You're right, Sonia. It's a direct profit on the people's misery. You know, they want the young people to take insurance to pay for the old people. But the young people are smart today. They're not buying insurance. So we got a mess. How do we handle this? I have no idea. Okay? But in the meantime, all right? In the meantime, the insurance company just make more money and more money, more money. They're the biggest lobbyists. They pay off our politicians. Them and the pharmaceutical company, the two biggest lobbyists we have. That should be illegal. Okay, lobbyists should not be allowed to pay off politicians, all right, to get something passed that they want. Okay? Social Security is another thing. What a joke. We pay into it and then they take it back from us. All right? I wish I could have. You can't get away with it, folks. This is a free country. That they say it's a free country. But yet, you have to pay your Social Security. You have to. And if you're an employer, you have to take out Social Security on the people that work for you. That's how it works. So no matter what, that's the law. We have no say in that. Is that a free country that we don't have no say? Folks, we don't have no say. Okay? Get that out of your mind. Oh boy, you're right about that. Stephanie writing about YouTube's pay. Folks, how come I got more subscribers, I get more views, and I make less money. How come? I can't make money on YouTube. And I ask myself every day, why am I doing this? You know, 1 month, you folks were very good to me, and I made a little bit over $500. It was only because of the thanks button that you folks hit that I got that money. Only because of that. Now, folks, I won't even make the minimum. The minimum payout is $100. Okay? I won't make that for the month of December. Okay? I won't get not even $100. Okay? I'm only at $50 there. You know, Sonia gave me 15 today, so I had to go to 65. So I want to thank Sonia. And anybody else who want to hit that button. Yeah, it does infuriate. And then I watched something on YouTube that told me, all right, I used to get 4,000 views on a video. Now I get 300. So I talked to other people, and then I saw this YouTube thing, and some news reporter seemed like was talking that there was some problem with something in the clouds that support the social media platform. So maybe that's the problem. I don't know, folks. I'm not a tech guy. I'm never going to be a tech guy. Okay? I'm never going to hire a lot of people to have a production company and do all that work that you see these other people who are professional and got big channels. You won't see that coming from me, folks. Okay? In order to be big and make a lot of money on YouTube, okay, you have to make a big investment. Okay? Wyatt Earp, what's that there? 3 months, Gangster Circle. What do you mean there, Wyatt? Explain that, please. Homeboy Cowboy. You ever read Just Like Everyone Else? You're right, Katie. True speakers don't make money. I applied for. I'm being monetized. I got all that taken care of. They got my bank and everything. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Wyatt Earp. You pay for membership. I'm going to start doing more with memberships, folks. So be patient, okay? All right? I'm going to be doing more for you who have become members. I'm going to be giving you private information that I don't give to others. Just please bear with me and give me the time there. So for those of you who have not become a member yet, please sign up because you're not going to miss it. I'm going to be doing that. All right? You like that? I just found that out today, the silent generation. Because I called up my son. I said, am I a baby boomer? He said, I don't know. He said, are you? He said, Google it, find out. I Googled it, I found out, I just read it to you. I can't believe it. I'm part of the silent generation. And it doesn't go into there why we're silent, okay? But we're not a baby boomer, okay? Do we have any other who are silent like me here? Heather Marie, thank you for coming, honey. All right? Any other ones that are my age or older on here? I'd like to know. If there is, please leave a comment. Mercy Ann, you know something? I'm going to tell you something. I did. I was born during the good times. You had no idea how great it was in those days. We had no phones, we had no computer, we didn't have a TV. We in the neighborhood, everybody knew everybody, everybody looked out for everybody ate together, you did everything. We communicated. Today, people don't communicate. It's terrible. And it really seriously is. I walk down the street, I see girls and guys with their phones. They don't care what color light it is. They just cross the street in front of you if you're driving. I'm sure you all seen it too. Happened to you, I bet. All right? You go into a restaurant. They're sitting there. A guy on a date with his girlfriend, and they're both looking at their phones. They're not looking at each other. All right? No, you're right. We were grateful. We didn't complain. We were grateful for what we had. Okay, thank you. We were very grateful for what we had. And we didn't complain about it, folks. We got up and went to work. Okay? We didn't look for handouts. We went to work. You're a baby boomer. 1948. Yes, you are, my dear. Yep. Huh. Your mother is silent. You're a Gen X. Okay, now a Gen X. Now, so I guess that puts you in the what age? 35, 40? I don't know. What is a Gen X? Explain that, Island. Okay. What age are you? Okay. Are you 23? No, your mother's silent, so she's my age. I bet you're in your 50s. Am I right? Am I right? You're 54, Johnny. Yeah. Yeah, my children are all in their 50s there. All right? Yep, you're right. '56. What's the youngest person we have here? Do we got anybody in their 20s here? If we do, please. 315, Rome, New York. How we doing? Oh my God, 315. I lived at 215 West Liberty Street in Rome, New York. Huh? Sonia, you're 61? I thought you were younger. That's very young. You're still a baby, Sonia. Refried beans, you're 49. Refried beans rice me every day. When he tries to come into my shows. I'm glad you got here today, Refried. I appreciate it, buddy. How you doing? It's Chabelle. 33 years old. There we go. We got some youngsters here. Okay. I wonder if I'm the oldest person on YouTube. You think so? I don't know. How do we find that out? You were asking me what's the square root or something? I have no idea, my friend. Thanks, Betterman. You're 86, Wyatt Earp? Dealing with the kids. Thank you, Refried. And maybe Google can tell me. Google tells you a lot, I'll tell you. It's really amazing. I go back in the old days, with encyclopedias, which I'm sure a lot of you remember encyclopedia. Our kids today don't know what an encyclopedia is. They'll never know what it is. We always had encyclopedias in our home, in school, and anything you wanted to look up, A to Z. Okay, you had to know the alphabet, of course. All right? People, today it's Google. Google knows everything. All right? Well, you were born in 39, 5 years before me. Why, it hurt. Yes, I do believe in a higher power or a creator. Actually, I just started reading the Bible. Okay, I'm only about 15, 20 pages into it. But I just got a Bible somebody sent me, and I am reading it. Nancy Lyons sent me a Bible. It's very interesting. And I'm going to discuss that at some other time, but let me get deeper into it, okay? And let me understand it more, all right? I appreciate that. Thank you, Virginia. Yes, folks, I do read. And by the way, for those of you who do read, but yet have not purchased my book, The Accidental Gangster, this is a book that you definitely want to read. It's a real book, folks, okay? It's not like those other gangster books that you might have read. This is about love. There's funny in here, okay? And you could learn how to overcome obstacles, how to become successful, how to think positive, all positive things in here. It's my life story, okay? And you could order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and anybody who wants an autographed copy, go to my website, it's in my profile, and you could purchase an autographed copy, all right? Isabel, you heard about me from your buddy. Thank you. Thank your friend for recommending me. I appreciate that there. Okay? You know, it's funny, I talk about the girl Ellen. She never comes in on the live, okay? Who wrote this ridiculous comment, all right? But she never comes in on the live. You can bet your boots she'll leave a message after this is posted, okay? So be curious to see what she says now. You know, I wrote her back. She said, I destroy lives. I said, you would destroy more lives than I have with your negativity, your sarcastic disposition on life. You must be one very unhappy lady. That's what I told her. Okay, it's in there. You could read it if you want to. All right? All right, folks. I'll be back tomorrow again with some great information. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Okay? You know, I told you about, I did a story of me and with Sonny Franchise. And yesterday I told you about me and stories with gangsters here in Los Angeles. And I can't figure, I didn't get a lot of views. I don't know why. Okay? But I think there's something wrong somewhere. And but if you haven't seen the video I did yesterday, please make sure you go and see that there. Folks, all my love and respect to you. And remember, as I always say, do something kind for somebody else today. I guarantee if you do, it'll come back to you 10 times more. God bless you all. All my love and respect to you all. Take care.